Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of T-Stop T-Talk.
Yeah, and we're actually really excited because we got some more people with us today. We got Bridget LaMonica and Dustin Masters.
Oh, yeah. Both colleagues in the film industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've done lots of projects with them.
Oh, yeah. Bridget, why don't you start off and tell us what you got there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What are you drinking?
We're introducing our teas.
Yes.
It looked so good. It was a Hawaiian peach, like white tea. Oh, It's very good. I definitely recommend it.
That sounds good, yeah. Yeah.
Dustin here wanted a...
So this was a last-minute decision. Come on board. I just have a water. But next time it will be a Long Island iced tea.
There you go.
There we go. Add some fun to the mix.
Yeah. We have that one drunk guy on the podcast. It'll be great.
Keeps things interesting. I think it's a new dynamic. What are you guys drinking?
Well, I have a ginger peppermint green tea, which is actually quite nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got a David's tea. It's so I don't know what it is. It's got a lot of stuff in it. It's pretty good though.
Looks fancy. You know it's fancy if they braided the,
Yeah, I'm
they
looking at that. They've braided
yeah.
the string.
That's a high-class tea right there.
I don't think I've ever seen that before in my life.
I'm just now
Fancy
noticing it now that you mention it. Oh man. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff to get to today because there's a lot of news. By the way, before we start, I just want to let you know, Bridget LaMonica is also camera operator Steadicam.
Oh, yes.
And Dustin Masters is a phenomenal camera assistant.
Exactly.
Yeah, and animator. Which
Yeah,
we
it's
will
working
have
on
to
some cool
we'll have to make
stuff.
a plug about that at the end. But
Exactly, yeah.
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right,
So what do we got
yes,
first?
What are our topics? All right, topics for today. We will be talking about Insta360's new action cam, which seems to be the first camera or action camera in history that can record 8K. But it's interesting because they're not actually advertising the 8K feature. They're advertising the 4K 120 over the 8K.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
that was our
interesting.
thoughts as well.
Yeah. It's
Interesting.
like, I don't know why it has to be 8K, but I can kind of see if they make it 8K or they put all this overhead in it so you could actually do more with less, I guess.
Well, is the 8K only available if you have it at the lowest other setting?
Well, I don't know. I've looked and it's 8K at 24 and I think 30, but I don't know how much media that takes up, how long you can record in 8K and all that. So
He's looking it up, yeah.
I feel like all these camera companies for like the past, I don't know, 10, 15 years, they just keep adding Ks to their cameras just to seem fancy.
Yeah.
We're still shooting stuff in 1080 on some
Yeah.
shows I work on.
Yeah.
That was what we started with. 1080, which used to be, HD. That's such
Yeah.
a big thing. It
Yeah.
just shows you how fast technology's gone.
Oh, yeah.
But then I'll have someone go, what kind of K does that camera do? Does it do 6K? Does it do 8K? And I'm like, what can your computer handle? You can't even handle 4K yet. Slug
Exactly.
And especially for reality shows where they have so much media to deal with because they have so many cameras rolling.
Goodness,
Exactly.
yeah.
Oh,
They don't want to mess with 4K.
No.
Yeah.
No,
I
no,
was
no.
I was watching some reality TV with my dad the other day. He likes to watch like Storage Wars and all these other things. And every now and then you see the crew in the background, so naturally I'm always looking for that.
Yeah.
And I see these guys walking around with basically handy cams, and I'm like, I didn't even
Yeah.
know they still had those.
Uh-huh.
But that's
That's
how
right,
they
that's
film
right,
those
that's right.
shows. They
Exactly.
probably have like 5 camera operators walking around getting shots of all the different people in their show that they follow. And
Yeah.
they still.
I think they probably still make them too.
Yeah.
Handy cams?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
It was
definitely
something
still make
that
handy
looked like a
cams and all
handy cam.
that.
You only saw it
Yeah.
for a split second, and
Yeah.
they were back to whatever junk they found in the storage unit.
Oh, yeah.
How did this get in here?
We'll get into that a little bit. We'll get into the the film strikes that are finally concluded.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
The actor
Finally.
strike and the writer
well,
strike.
We should say that they're voting.
Well, they're
Oh,
well,
that's true. Because
well, wait a
everyone's
minute.
saying
SAG
they're.
is-
The writers are done, though. I thought.
The writers are done.
Yeah, the writers
SAG
are done.
votes
The
SAG
SAG
votes.
votes.
until
Yeah.
December
5th.
5th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's still up in the air.
Everyone keeps saying
Yes.
it's over. It's not
Yeah.
over until it's official.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm available.
Yeah, we all are available.
We're all available.
That's why they're all here.
That's why we're here.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely get into that, and then a camera that Kodak has teased us with for
gosh.
over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
This camera was first announced when I was still in me and Bridget
Yeah.
both were still in film school. And that's over 10 years ago, and it finally seems to have a release date. Kodak's new film camera, like actual
Super 8.
Super 8,
yeah.
Like an
film
actual
camera.
Super 8.
Yeah,
A
an
modern
actual
Super 8 camera coming out.
Which
yeah.
is a really,
Fascinating.
really good format for anyone that wants to shoot film because
Yeah.
it looks good and easy to handle because you don't have to thread film. You just put the
Yeah.
cartridge in.
just like an
Ready
old
to
Bolex.
shoot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So those are the topics for today. So let's get in with that Insta360 and that 8K of goodness, as they
Yeah,
say.
let's talk about it.
So,
This is the first I'm hearing of it, so I'm
Correct.
very
Yeah.
new to this.
Same here.
yeah. So, really quick, Bridget. I know you're going to need to talk closer,
Oh.
right?
Oh
as
yeah.
much as you
Oh
hate
yeah. Yeah.
Hello.
There we go.
There she is.
Sorry, I like cameras. I don't like being on camera. I like being behind them, hiding,
Oh,
judging
yeah.
people through the lens. Anyway,
Yeah.
just kidding. I don't do that. Hire me. I'm available.
Behind camera.
Behind camera, exactly.
Oh my god. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
All right.
I'm trying to get closer. Okay, here we go.
So yeah, like,
Perfect. Yeah.
I guess Bridget and I coming in on this, especially this action camera that I'm looking at. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, tell us a little bit more about it, because
Well, you know about
You know.
about action cameras in general, like the
Yeah.
GoPros and the DJIs
Oh, the
and all that.
GoPro generation.
Yeah, generation
Yeah.
that birthed, I guess, the action camera, the whole action camera genre. And you've had newcomers come in like Insta360 and DJI to try and like shake it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
that's right.
Yeah, so this camera actually has a couple of features. Well, it's two cameras for one. It's the Insta360 Ace Pro and the Insta360 Ace.
Okay.
I don't know if both of them or just the Pro has a flip-up screen.
that's what I was looking
Which
at.
is-
That
yeah.
That's a really cool feature.
That
I'll give it
actually
that
is
credit.
pretty cool,
Yeah,
yeah.
it has a flip-up screen. The Ace Pro, let me see. Well, the sensor, of course, because everyone is interested in the sensor sizes. It's a 1 and
1 inch?
1/3.
Oh,
Well,
one
yes,
and a third.
Yeah, 1 1/3 inch
Interesting.
sensor. Actually they've partnered with Leica for
was
the
looking at that.
glass,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
which is actually
Yeah.
quite
Mhm,
good.
mhm,
If you know photography in the past, I don't know, 40. I mean, they've been around for a long time. Leica.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Has been
well,
around
they,
for-
okay, here's fun, useless knowledge.
Here we go.
So the reason that still cameras shoot 3.2 is because of Leica. Leica was the first to choose that aspect ratio for still photography on 35 millimeter film. And then Nikon, Canon, and everybody else followed them because they're like, Leica has kind of set the standard. We're all going to.
All right.
Right.
same size,
Okay.
yeah.
Because if you look at some old photographs, they're not all the same size.
Mm-hmm,
They're not, and you don't think about that until you think about how we process things now. But some of them are
Right.
like square format.
Right, that's right. Like
all
the
these
120
different
format.
Shapes. Yeah. That's I had never thought of that.
Yeah. So, and that's also where full frame came from. So we have Leica to thank for the 3:2 full frame aspect ratio, which I think is really stupid for for filming. I'm just gonna go on record saying I don't know what it's so full of because nobody shoots in 3:2, and I know there's people out there who's like, oh, but if I shoot 3:2, then I can get more vertical video. Just turn your camera sideways.
And you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Also, I hate vertical video.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
Like the other night, actually, I was somebody wanted me to take a picture of them, like a young couple, and I took their phone and like
Always do it
I
this
had it horizontal, but then I took 2 or 3, and then they were like, "Could you do it vertical?" I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's like my mind. Then also
It
like,
takes a
Hold it.
but it's the Instagram culture too.
It's-
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
it's-
Yeah.
Instagram and TikTok.
and I would say not necessarily Instagram, but just phone culture in general.
Yeah, because
If phones are
Yeah.
rectangular up and down, they just want to maximize that screen.
Again,
real
my
estate.
mind goes
Yeah.
to like I guess wider versions. Being
Exactly.
a movie guy,
No,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
totally remember in college taking pictures with my friend's phone, and she's like, "Why are you taking like this?" And I'm like, "No, we live in a widescreen world."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Our eyes are
Why-
set this way, not yeah.
But there's a purpose for either format, just like
Exactly.
anything else. It's a tool of the trade.
It
What do you
is,
need?
it
What do
is.
you need to shoot?
Exactly.
I was about to say,
Exactly.
in terms of this camera,
Yeah.
this little action camera, what kind of type of lens do they have for?
So the lens is like it's
It's like
black.
a fixed lens.
Yeah, it's a fixed lens.
Exactly.
The 35 millimeter equivalent focal length is 16 mil.
got
So
Oh.
it's a pretty
That's
wide.
pretty. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty
good.
wide.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that the Ace Pro has an aperture of f2.6, while the normal
Right.
Ace has a 2.4 aperture, which I wonder why they gave the wider aperture to the non-pro.
That's pretty good, though.
Yeah, I'm
Just
not
looking
sure.
at
Other than it might have something to do with the way it processes the image.
Yeah, we'll see, because getting into the video resolution, so this is a whole list
That's a
of
lot of
of numbers, a whole lot of numbers here.
Oh yeah.
So for the Ace Pro, we start at 8K 16:9 at 24, 8K 235, so CinemaScope at 24. It does 4K 4.3, 4K 16:9, 2.7K,
That's a lot. Of options.
1440, 1080.
So, I guess the big question here, which is what you were alluding to earlier, was about the idea of 8K.
Yeah.
Right.
And the
So-
fact that they don't actually advertise they don't actively advertise the 8K in any of the.
So
the
here's my feeling,
things that
and
they have.
I know probably I would guess maybe for the people that are using this, it might be one of those things where they want to punch into their footage.
I can see.
Well, see, the
that.
thing is that I'm thinking that they put 8K in just for the fact of not necessarily using the 8K, but being able to have more overhead for lesser.
Like
The lesser resolutions, like being able to shoot 124K. That's why I think they put things like 8K in a camera like this.
I think I see what you mean. You're basically
Yeah.
overshooting what you can do.
Yeah.
That way you have better results.
Yeah.
at
for
this
what people would
range.
probably use it for.
Because
Yeah.
because if you look at like a GoPro and their 120 or 240 slow mo, it's only at 1080,
Yeah.
and it looks like crap.
Yeah.
It looks like complete crap. So I could see them overshooting to make it be able to do 4K at 120
That's
and
the
have
market
it.
they're trying to corner.
Exactly.
That's why
Yeah.
they're probably not marketing 8K, because it's like,
Yeah.
oh, we're probably not going to use the 8K.
Exactly.
It's there.
Is there?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But you might not really get to that point. But it still
Exactly.
means you're way above where you used to be.
Exactly, for the
Okay.
lower resolutions, yeah, so you can get better quality.
I didn't
with the
hear about this
slow-mos.
camera till now, so I'm kind of interested to see
Yeah.
if that
Yeah, I'm
becomes
kind of
the
interested
next
in it as
standard.
well, actually, because
Yeah, it just
Right.
came out like maybe 2 weeks ago, I think.
Right, because we
Yeah.
use these GoPro kits on the reality shows.
I was about to ask about that. I've
Yeah.
used some of that stuff in the past on reality shows, but I'm wondering how much you guys use it now. Like,
Oh
just
my
throw it up in the
God.
corner and let it go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
We
was
use
on-
them too much.
yeah,
Yeah.
We don't
Use them too
I'm
much.
sure
Yeah.
I'm sure we won't use half the footage we record with the GoPros,
Uh-huh.
but not going to name any names. But the show I'm currently on, somebody somewhere up in the echelon of the network was like, "We need more driving shots." So now
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
doing GoPros almost every
Yep.
day for
Oh
a
my
character driving to a location and ending up there. But it's like if. Sometimes they're in the car by themselves. Why are we shooting them driving?
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
no one to talk to. So
Exactly.
what story wise do we need? But yeah, we still use GoPros quite a lot for driving, getting from point A to point B. If they're going to something very important, sometimes you want that lead up. So we use the GoPros quite a lot. And there was
Yeah.
a couple occasions where we set up a GoPro like in a tent. Let's say someone went camping, we set it up in a tent, leave it overnight.
do like a
Oh, yeah,
time lapse
time-lapse
type.
and all that
We'll
stuff.
do
Yeah.
time lapses.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
use them quite a lot. And the ones we're up to, I think, are the GoPro 10s.
Is it 10 or? Oh no, the one on your shows.
Yeah,
On
the
my
one on
show,
the show.
right,
Yeah,
that's
they
okay.
have the
Yeah.
they're up to the 12s now as far
Jeez,
as
I can't keep up, guys.
yeah, it's just like
Insta360,
Apple. They're
here we
making
go.
a new camera every year.
Yeah.
For
Every year.
What, for what
This is
reason?
why I can't keep. I just sold my GoPro 3s on eBay.
Oh. On eBay.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't judge me. Facebook Marketplace is a wild west of confusion. We don't need that.
We don't need it. We don't need it.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so I mean, it is very interesting to just to have that spec in a action camera.
So then,
yeah.
Tony, outside of like your surfer or biker or whatever, I mean, what could you see this in reality shows possibly in the future? Like, what could we see this as in a narrative setting?
Yeah, because
setting.
I was actually
know.
thinking that these are great for YouTubers,
Yeah.
bloggers,
Yeah,
and
the YouTube vlogger,
especially with that
community,
flip-up
definitely.
screen.
Well,
Yeah,
I'd
I mean
like-
that's what that screen was for.
I
for
think
vloggers
these
and-
would be great for like car chases and stuff.
Mm.
Or
Yeah.
if you're crashing a car on film,
Correct.
they don't want to.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want to put their good cameras mounted to the car.
Yeah.
They can put some of these. I mean, they're still going to cost
And then-
money, but it's nothing
Yeah.
compared to
An-
you
an
know,
actual
wrecking an
camera,
Alexa.
yeah.
Because I know,
Right,
like,
right.
Baby Driver.
Baby Driver is a great example.
Oh,
They
yeah.
they filmed like some A7S.
They
you know,
put so
2
many,
and 3
and they got so many
all
great
over.
shots of like close to the road as the car, because there's a lot of great car action in that movie.
Yeah, and that was shot
Yeah, that one's
mostly
really well
film.
Yeah.
With
And it
a
looked
couple of
beautiful.
exceptions. Yeah.
And then another example I like, which not a lot of people saw this, I guess, but Need for Speed.
That's not Need for Speed.
It was
yeah, it was
Shane
actually pretty good.
Hurlbut.
Yeah, I was
He
about
did
to
a
say, yeah.
beautiful job shooting it. They used several varieties of cameras. I remember
Yeah.
they said they used C300s, but they also used a bunch of cameras that were attached to the cars that, hey, if it wrecked, hopefully they survive. But they got tons of footage of cars doing impossible things and jumping
Yeah.
over stuff.
And
They
fun
used
little
it.
side note, they actually shot a part of that movie basically in the if you've seen Need for Speed, the car wash sequence where he does, I think it's one of the first stunts or whatever he does, where he's going through the car wash right off the highway. That was actually shot in Macon,
Yes.
right next to my mom's job. So they were all out watching them, and
Oh,
Aaron
that's
Paul
so
was
great.
sitting on this curb, like taking a break or whatever. She actually went over there and got an autograph for him for me.
Oh,
I still have that. So,
That's
yeah.
wonderful. That's
Yeah.
so sweet. I really love. That's one of my favorite popcorn flicks.
Yeah.
Is Need for Speed.
Yeah,
Anything with like
exactly.
car stuff. A Baby Driver. I love
Yeah.
Baby Driver. That was also filmed most of it in Atlanta.
And
Yeah.
actually, another
Actually,
side note, I
I
actually
guess-
was a
yeah.
car extra in Baby Driver.
Oh, that's cool. That's a great little claim to
One of my
fame.
favorites, yeah.
Yeah,
I love
I
that.
should
Oh, yeah.
point out that I'm not surprised because Bridget is working on her project car, so
Oh,
she's a car
yeah.
person
Yeah,
all the way
yeah.
through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do like car. I've learned a lot about cars this year because I've been working with my dad. We've been going to car shows, and we finally did a lot of work to my '67 Impala. So
Yeah,
Nice.
it looks
learned how
amazing.
to do a
Looks
lot of
really
engine
cool.
work. I was literally in the engine compartment because it's a
Nice.
huge car. You have
Yeah,
to get
yeah,
inside
exactly,
of it to work
yeah.
on it. And I painted some of the car as well, and that was just really satisfying seeing it come together. So
Nice.
I feel like film people and like certain crafts kind of go together.
They
Oh
kind of
yeah,
do. They kind
definitely.
of
They
do.
definitely
Like,
go together.
learning
Yeah.
like how to work with electronics and just the nitty gritty of putting one piece into another and making it work. I don't know.
Exactly.
They feel-
Exactly.
they
Yeah,
feel
we're
related.
always solving problems in the film
Oh,
world.
gosh.
Always solving problems.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, but outside of like like I said, car films, the YouTuber community,
I think you find the
just action.
occasional trick shots. Like
Mhm.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
about movies where you have your characters in like, let's say like a big Ferris wheel. That's really hard to fit a big studio camera in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So like, I wonder if they might use it for weird shots.
Yeah.
Weird shots like
And
I
I
was
was
gonna say
actually-
for
I was
like
just-
specialty shots. it
Yeah,
works
you said
great,
that,
yeah.
and I was actually thinking about, and you would appreciate this, all the cool shots they had in Breaking Bad.
Oh,
Where something
great
like this would be
show.
perfect for like, remember when he was like cooking on the stove and it was
Yeah.
like the bottom like through the stove. Yeah,
they
all
did
those
a
types
lot
of shots like
fancy
that. Yeah,
photography in that show.
yeah,
It's really appreciated.
exactly. Yeah,
I was about to say, yeah, that actually inspired me for one of my shorts. I put my camera into the dryer.
yeah.
I
Oh,
opened up the dryer just to have that
Yeah.
cool.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
The
Breaking Bad
dryer
is definitely
POV.
I've done a couple of
Definitely a good
Goodfellas
shot.
shots where I'm inside of a trunk with the camera. Okay,
Oh.
close it up, and then
Yep.
it closes. And you're like, I hope I can get out again. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I think these would be versatile
yeah.
for all these different uses.
Yeah.
If it becomes popularized, you never know.
Exactly.
Sometimes new technology comes out and it doesn't hit.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah,
That's true. That's true.
definitely.
So
Definitely.
And we've had 8K for a while,
Yeah.
but I just I really think 4K, at least for the home users, really as far as you need to go.
Agree.
Yeah.
Because they're,
yeah, I think so too. And
I mean-
I'm sure somebody will argue with me.
yeah, I'm sure there's some arguments out there, but it's like it's not going to get any sharper the way people think it does. In fact, I've got we spoke about this on the last podcast, but I've got a video coming out where we look at the difference between log and raw,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
and I doubt there's people that can even tell the difference between that. There's some people that
Yeah.
excuse me. There's some people that would say that if they shoot raw, that it's more organic.
I love it when they use words like organic.
Yeah, I'm
I
just
wanna
like, it's
feel
a
it. I
digital format. There's
Like-
nothing organic about it.
So people get too wishy-washy with the terminology. What do you actually want?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, I'm gonna be releasing that soon, and I have a feeling I know what the answer is. I mean, I could be wrong. Could get some different results, but it's gonna be a two-part video. So,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, I'll be interested to see that.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, just
No.
based off what you just said, like even me shooting, like I got to do a little videography gig on Friday, but again, it's going to be a 1080 output. You know, there's no like I'll probably
That's all
go
I want
in.
half the time.
I'll probably go in. You guys probably do like interviews at 4K or something.
We do our interviews at 4K because a lot of
That-
times they're on a green screen
Yeah.
or whatever reason. So,
Yeah.
God forbid they want to punch in on something or whatever. but
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
we
And
do
I-
interviews at 4K.
And then the other stuff, it's like just shoot the composition that you want.
oh
You
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't
yeah.
need just shoot wide and then go in.
Yeah,
It's
oh,
just
yeah, we talked
shoot
about
what you
that.
want.
Yeah,
Oh.
we spoke about that before because the camera is actually the different focal lengths. The camera's actually at a different
Exactly.
position.
Yeah.
To make the composition look
Yeah, it's
right.
not
So if
just
you're
different. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
not just a different frame. It's a different everything.
So yeah, like even this project, like I said, is going to be 1080, like at
Sometimes that's all
4K.
you need.
Yeah.
You don't need to go that crazy. I think I was doing a short film recently, and I think the director almost had a heart attack when he heard I was doing 1080. I'm like, but did you need more? You
Yeah.
don't. I don't know what your computer can handle, but we're not doing
Yeah.
crazy special effects. We're not doing. 1080 is plenty.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And even a lot of Marvel movies are actually mastered in 2K, and then they'll be upres to 4K because it's just too much.
Yeah, and they're trying to get that out
Yeah.
to as many people as
Right.
possible. To
And-
see, so they
and
want it in
any-
all
any
different types
motion-
of formats.
Right. Any motion
Yeah.
picture out there that's not shooting on the Alexa LF or higher is going to be shooting with the like Arri Mini or Arri Mira, and those are 2.8K cameras.
Plenty K. That's enough K.
It really is. So, so if you're using in my personal opinion anyway, if you're using the VFX and it's like, oh, we need 12K for this VFX shot.
Do you-
How bad is your VFX guy?
Oh my god.
I seriously doubt it's going to be any better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 4K is a pretty nice. I mean, I'm not an editor, so please correct me if I'm wrong. But I think 4K is plenty for like most green screen and like
It is,
basic
yeah.
VFX.
It really is because
if you're doing Marvel level crazy VFX, sure, shoot it up a little bit. They got the budget for that. But the average person, the average indie filmmaker,
Yeah.
maybe not so.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
the way to make a green screen look better is just to light it better.
Yeah.
Well, lighting is the big thing about green screens. If you don't light it well, you can't get rid of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how many Ks you have. It's
Yeah.
gonna
Exactly.
look bad.
Yeah, I have all these extra Ks. It sucks. The
It's
lighting-
like I don't know what do I do with this.
But you're going to have the green Ks to flesh out. To
How many
fix
green
it,
Ks
you know,
does this camera
fix
have?
it,
I love it.
to hire the right person.
Exactly.
Oh my.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think that's maybe sometime on your podcast you can dig into it. But like people think that digital is so cheap to produce, and so
Oh,
they
yeah.
kind of waste footage that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. Should I not get into this topic? Or?
No, you go.
Oh, okay.
Feel free, whatever.
Well,
I'm
just like
saying,
I
we just
worked on
ramble.
a couple of like let's say Lifetime Hallmark type movies that are shot in about a month, and they're always
Done plenty of those.
wild.
Yep. Exactly.
But like we had a director. We okay, sound is rolling, camera's rolling. We slated. I'd walk away with the slate. Then the director would come in and give his notes to the actors. He'd spend a few minutes talking to the actors. Everything's rolling.
Yeah,
Everything
I
is
hate that.
recording. But this guy only did notes when everything was rolling. Not in the 10 minutes we had between setups, when everything is rolling. So we talked to the DIT and we're like, we gotta know, how much time did he waste? He wasted a terabyte of footage.
Oh my God.
And think digital's cheap, right? It's not film. You don't have to process it. You do. The computer, the DIT's time, the editor's time,
Exactly.
the storage
That's still
space because you
time.
have to buy hard
Yeah,
drives for
exactly.
it. It all costs money. That cost a terabyte worth of extra processing, editing, hard drive space.
Just
et cetera.
looking through all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I feel like if I'm going to teach any lesson to people, it's like digital is still not free.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
it's
still
not
paying
free.
for your
Yeah,
time.
I was about to ask, is this action camera? Is it?
It's digital.
Yeah, well, well, but yeah,
Wow.
thread a tiny. In terms of capturing though, yeah, is it internal or does it have an SD card? or-
SD card. Yeah. No.
Okay.
No internal storage. Just all SD
Well, that
card.
makes sense. It sounds like it'd be a pretty
Yeah.
easy switch over to go from like the GoPro style
Yeah.
stuff to this.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
actually
definitely,
kind of.
Yeah.
And
kind of
again,
interested in
wondering
this thing.
again how much, like storage that require, like if you're shooting an hour's worth of 8K footage
Right,
on
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
like-
And
Well,
yeah,
my-
and
my
especially,
experience- yeah, I was
well,
gonna
I was
say-
saying, especially with you say how they're always using GoPros and they want to use more GoPros. In reality,
Yeah.
you got 6 or 7 or 8 of these things all around different cars and houses and all that, constantly rolling. Because with the
Right.
GoPro, you just set it and forget it.
Yeah.
And so you come back with a whole day's worth,
And-
5, 6, 7 terabytes of footage that you got to go through.
And I-
of
The
useless
editor's
footage.
assistant's going to be
Well,
sifting
yeah.
through.
Yeah, well, the
Exactly.
assistant, but also the AC at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah,
trying
they have
to log
to
it all.
Yeah.
log all the media, make sure all the mounts are set up. I mean, that stuff
Exactly.
takes time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I mean, a producer will just randomly say, hey, can you go GoPro those 3 vehicles? Meanwhile, my AC also has to take care of the regular camera operators.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
so, you just find a way to do it. You want to make sure they're happy. You just divvy up responsibilities.
And that is one thing that's different from reality
Yeah.
to
And like
narrative is ACs have a lot more work to do in reality.
Yeah.
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 That's
Yeah.
true.
They play the role of a couple different departments
That's
in reality.
Because like the one thing they're usually not doing is pulling focus, but they're doing everything else.
They're doing
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Exactly.
AC can often be
It's,
like, oh, can you set up that light in the
Yep.
corner over
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Because the crews are often like 5 people, like
Yeah.
5 to 10
Or-
people, if
yeah.
that.
Or can you be this loader and download this footage on the,
Yeah,
on the
I
laptop?
had to do that once or twice. Never again.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Don't be mixing those
Yeah.
roles for me.
Yeah, I know
Oh,
a couple
yeah.
of guys who have done that, and they've logged on extra 2 or 3 hours at the end of the night after a 12-hour day of shooting or
exactly,
more. So.
yep.
One of my early gigs in
Exactly.
Georgia, I was on a true crime show that shall not be named. It's not the show's fault. But they hired me as an AC, but then I was also the C-cam, and I was also the DIT. I'm not a DIT, by the way. Don't know
Yeah.
anything about it, but I was media managing. And they
Yeah.
gave me the world's worst computer. And so after an
no.
entire day of AC work where we're going from location to location to location with multiple camera operators, multiple GoPros, and a drone, I was up until like 4 a.m. every night trying to get all the
Yep.
footage downloaded because
Oh
it
my
took
God.
forever.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the week, their line producer in LA called me like, "Wait, why do you have all this extra overtime?" I'm like, "Well, here's the situation." And like, "Oh my God, we'll never do that to you again. I'm so sorry. We'll make it. We'll make it. It's fine." Those producers came back into town a couple weeks later. We shot the rest of the show, and I showed up, and I'm like, "Who'd you get for a DIT?" And they're like, "Oh, you." I'm like,
Oh no.
Yeah.
"Okay,
Yep,
prepare
yep.
to pay me lots of overtime."
Exactly.
But
So-
that's also why I don't mix those kind of roles anymore. You should have someone
Yeah.
in charge.
You
So,
should-
so
yeah, you
this is
definitely
kind of
should
one
have
of my
someone.
little pet peeves, and I'm kind of curious to hear what DITs think about this because the
I'm
the
sure they
term
have strong opinions.
right 'cause the term DIT is someone that is color grading
Yes.
while you're filming, and they have a really expensive, probably $40,000 to $80,000 worth of gear on this cart.
Oh my God,
that
yeah.
is specifically for getting the right look to certain monitors and working with the director of photography to make sure that they're achieving what they want and they're controlling the cameras on top of that.
Yeah.
So it is a very skilled position.
Yeah.
But
Not to be
I keep
taken
hearing
lightly.
people use the term DIT as somebody that downloads media, and
Yeah,
that,
they
Yeah.
interchange
Yeah.
them.
right,
Right.
and that is officially a media manager
Or a loader.
or a loader.
Yeah.
Right. So that's just my little pet peeve. I was like,
Oh,
do you
yeah.
want a actual
Now-
DIT? Are we
Yeah.
getting that for real? Because that'd be awesome.
That is a real big position. And it's also
yes.
quite a jump in a rate because
It's a huge
yeah.
jump in a
you're
rate.
going
Yeah.
from just downloading cards, which
Yeah.
not to media managing is still important, but basically just downloading cards, maybe making some notes or whatever. But then the DIT was going in like on that footage, testing everything, making sure everything's fine, color graded. Oh, okay, well this scene was a little dark. We need to fix that next time. Like they're doing so much more work.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So specialized.
Oh, yeah.
It's very specialized, and I've tried using the software that they use.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It is over my head.
Yeah.
I
So
believe it. Yeah.
it's a very skilled position.
Okay.
Now a DIT, like he came into Otto Nimmons a couple weeks ago, and he said for commercials he has loaded and
yeah?
transferred
Okay.
media.
Yeah.
But
Well,
there's
that
the-
is part
there's
of
that
what they do, but-
delegation.
Yeah.
But-
There's that delegation
I'm sure
on
they
union
spoke about
sets.
that before he
Yeah.
Oh, they
got
have
on
So-
to.
set.
Depends on what
yeah.
gear he's
Yeah,
gonna
exactly.
bring.
They didn't
Exactly.
just spring it on him. I
Yeah.
have, as a second AC on a non-union project, like we were prepping the gear and like, oh, here, you got to load too. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like
Wait, what?
being-
No.
Yeah.
That,
So-
that needs to
Surprised
be
with that.
negotiated ahead
Yeah.
of time. Because
Yeah,
like after that one
definitely.
job that did that to me,
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start saying no to jobs that say I need to do both. Well,
Yeah.
for one thing, I only found out when I arrived on set.
Yeah.
But if I know in advance,
A little
like,
bit too late.
oh, this is gonna be a rough job, and it's a really low rate, and also you're gonna be media managing and first AC. And no, I'm busy
Yeah.
those days.
I'm
I didn't
busy.
tell you what days yet. I'm busy those
I'm
days.
good. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so I guess I should point out that that a real DIT actually will also be downloading footage. But part of what they're doing is that while you're filming, they are making links to. This is why it's so complicated
Yeah.
because as each camera is rolling and they can have multiple cameras on their software, they're actually making tags that'll go to each file. So when they download, those tags that have whatever look they've been working on will be attached to that file. So that way the colorist knows where to start.
Oh wow.
That's why that position is so
That's a lot,
complicated.
yeah.
And that's why I also think that's why some people get the idea that they're there to download footage. It's like that's part of it, but
It's
they're
a
doing
no.
a lot
Yeah,
more
they're doing a lot
to
more
that download
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.